So, remember that Thor went out with the Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, that didn't last long. We wasted the first 25 minutes on nothing. That's the time he spends with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they doesn't do anything recognizable. So yeah, they do some Star Wars pew pew laser gun battle cars, some no-name race at a no-name place, which has had no effect on anything. Money well spent. Money. To be fair, do I think this is the worst thing in existence and everything people hated it for? No. I mean, if this would be a Disney Channel product, Disney Channel movie made for that platform, I would probably like it. At least not hate it. But this is a $200 million movie in the MCU franchise. That seems a bit excessive. And I don't see where the money went. Because Wizards of Waverly Place did the exact same of this, aside, the arena filled with people, creatures. But this is that kind of quality. This is not a $250 million product. This is a movie like my boomer mother would do with her favorite, that single meme she knows. The goats. I know from the mythology Thor had this cart with two goats pulling it. But you sacrificed the whole movie for it. And I could easily cut out at least bare minimum 15 minutes. Which is nothing. Not needed. Now, this is still not the death of the movie. God Butcher, there comes the problems. His makeup is great. The black and white universe, plain, I don't know what, should not be black and white. It should be faded color. Times you see Thor has red clothes and, the eyes are glowing with dim blue and that kind of stuff. That was the perfect spot to aim for, but somebody just either got lazy or fucked it up. Given that we do know that the CGI people didn't have proper time and resources time to do their job, I guess they spared where they could. It hurt the movie. Now, where this movie really doesn't work is the God Butcher part. Because what is a deity in the Marvel Universe? I have no idea. Seriously. What this movie presents us with is the contract seems to be that you worship the deities and in exchange they protect you. but I don't see anything to be protected from. That's the first thing. Two, while Thor is doing some protecting, let's call it that, he doesn't really seem to be into the worship thing. He doesn't collect followers, he doesn't go around to appear in temples and whatnot. So, what's the deal with deities? What makes something a deity, aside calling themselves the god or goddess of whatnot? We even see a meme amongst the gods. I have no idea what's the deal there, but I was very happy when the stone guy died. Then it turned out he didn't. I really hate that self-insert. I hate it. Now, they brought back that woman, Natalie Portman. She's fine. But what's her role here? I don't really see any role for her here. It's just, I mean, this seems to be a Disney Channel movie, so the lesson of the installment is not very emphasized, not clearly explained. It's just stuff happened and the good side wins. Sure, why not? But then, why bring back Natalie Portman? Of course they brought her back because there was that famous comic book event. And to be honest, I expected her to take over because, they brought in a lot of women and started to update the roster, so to say. So She-Hulk changed Hulk, Lady Hawkeye changed Hawkeye, and Ironheart changed Spider-Man, because Spider-Man changed Iron Man, so Ironheart couldn't really change Iron Man. I have so many questions. Anyway, what I disliked related to female Thor was that she just one moment she just destroyed the Deathbringer with a simple lightning. What? You're joking, right? That was always an option? What? How that never happened before? Like at the beginning, there was the deity arm reach with the sword. Why not just blast it up? Or levitate it to the council of the gods and they destroy it. Someone has to have the same amount of power as Thor Lightning. It wasn't even Thor Lightning. And how did the Mjolnir glued itself together or something? Because that didn't seem to be an option. It wasn't an option. And you know what's it wasn't how this thing is an option? Like, so there is eternity, and whoever reaches there first has a wish. And it doesn't seem to be that eternity just when somebody gets there just teleports somewhere else and then they have to find him again. So this is one way, and people somehow knows about this. So and some, like Zeus, clearly knows how to get there. What's the key and all that nonsense, magical MacGuffin part. No one wanted to wish anything? I mean, isn't the universe exist in the MCU like billions of years ago? Definitely a couple tens thousands years somewhere I heard that mentioned. So, and turns out the legend was false. Like all the gods of the MCU. They are fake. They are just powerful aliens. Extraterrestrials, living people, living beings living on some distant planet somewhere in space. Erich von Däniken definitely would worship them. They are the ancient aliens, for fuck's sake. And eternity is the same kind of sham. It's a hoax, a cruel joke. Because you cannot wish. There was nothing to wish for. And if it comes to the wish, was the guy Gore or something that dumb? The writers literally were this dumb? I have one easy betterment of the wish, and the second that's more complicated. I mean, you will see. One. So he was the last person from his tribe or nation or race, what have you. Why not wish them all back with a prosperous planet and whatnot? Easy upgrade. You can wish back your daughter, or you can wish back your entire people. Okay, here is another. And this sounds more aligned with Mr. Godbutcher's plan. Motivations. We don't need the bullshit. How about forcing the gods and goddesses and what have you, the deities of the MCU, to do their fucking job? And clear the contract. What you want from the non-gods and what you provide for it. Because some of the deities were into human sacrifices. And that seems to be something that definitely not Thor's stuff. I mean, he says it was. They were eating humans, female ones. But, just make the contract hold. You call them yourself God, goddess, whatever. You do your job. That's a good wish. And the problem with it wouldn't come true. Because just look at the mirror image during Gore's death. You see, that child is not his daughter. That's eternity. which is obviously nonsense, and I have zero idea why would anyone do that. But I feel this movie sets up the Beyonder. That's my only explanation for what that little girl is. If you don't know what the Beyonder is, look up Secret War. Not Secret Wars, this scroll bullshit. No, the Secret War. Where there is the battle planet and the Beyonder summons the heroes and the villains of Earth and make them fight. I mean, of Earth, that's a stretch because somehow there is Galactus too. Sure, it was a fun event. It's not over expansive, so it's okay. There was a Secret War 2 and even a brief 3. They are not that big of a, it's just for comic book fans. But the first Secret War is really something, and when I heard Secret Wars mentioned, sure, I was like, yeah, that's a neat idea. You can bring in, expand your universe and make it available that you can just pull out a villain when you want to, and spread the heroes a bit more because everyone is in New York right now, and that's a slight problem if you ask me, and no one asks me. So, sure, this movie is a disappointment as an MCU product, but it wouldn't be such a nuisance if it would be a Disney Channel original. But I'm not sure why this exists. I mean, there is no story development here aside splitting Thor from the Guardians of the Galaxy, which led to nowhere. That's a dropped plot point. So what did we achieve here? Nothing! Absolutely nothing!